Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm Phil, the IT guy, and we're going to talk today about building a home automation system. Lots of different ways that can be done. You can either buy one out of the box, go to Best Buy, you can go to a company like Vivint, and they'll install one, and typically they give you a few lights that'll turn on and off. They'll give you an app that you can use to control it. They'll install your doorbell camera, but you're tied generally to a monthly fee in order to keep that running. If you go with something like Google or Amazon or Apple, they can automate a lot of things with their systems as well. But again, you're requiring internet access for that thing to even work. If your internet's down, you can't control anything. Um, and they have access to your data, which means Google can see when you wake up, when you go to bed, how much power you use, what your air quality is, what time of day do you take a shower. Um, and things like that. There's a lot of data and information you don't need them to have access to, including any cameras you install. So I decided to do something a little different, and I did some research and I settled on Home Assistant. Home Assistant is an open source a home automation platform. It's got a lot of integrations that make it compatible with thousands of different types of devices that are on the market today. So you can use those with no problem. It also has pretty good requirements for hardware. You can use Home Assistant's own custom-made hardware that you buy from them, the Home Assistant Yellow or Green. You can use Linux, Mac, Windows, Docker to host this. I chose to use a Raspberry Pi 4B because I happen to have one laying around. Lucky me. And what also needed is the SD card for that so we can install the OS. We need an Ethernet cable. Part of the installation reaches out and downloads the newest files for the image and puts those on there. So it has to be connected to the hardwired network in order to get started. Um, to install it, pretty simple. We're going to download what we call the Raspberry Pi Imager onto your computer. This is going to allow you to write that image to an SD card. So you take your SD card reader or plug it into your computer, and then you run that software. Make sure you choose the right disk. You don't want to overwrite your data. That would be terrible. And then you choose the operating system version based on what hardware you got. You're going to choose that. Then you're going to choose the purpose of the OS you're doing, and it's going to be home automation right here. And then you're going to choose Home Assistant once you've chosen that. You can see there's other options. Home Assistant is what I went with. After that, you choose the version that you need of the Home Assistant OS, but depending on the hardware you're installing on, 3, 4, 5, etc. Select the storage device and get the imaging underway. That is going to take about 5 minutes. Now you eject the SD card, plug it into your Raspberry Pi, plug in a power supply, and I do recommend a separate dedicated power supply for the Raspberry Pi um, just to provide a clean, interference-free signal to the Pi. Plug the SD card in, plug the network in to the Ethernet port, and then turn it on. Once you turn it on, you're going to go open your browser and you're going to browse to either the IP address of the device, if you can find it on your home router, or homeassistant.local:8123. That is going to allow you, excuse me, that's going to allow you to see the user interface for this via the browser so you can watch the installation progress. It could take about 20 minutes. It could take 5. It should take closer to 5. If it doesn't finish in a reasonable amount of time, just take the card out. Well, turn the Raspberry Pi off. Duh. Plug it into the SD card reader, write the image again, start over. Should work fine the second time. And after that, we're going to then go into the hardware that you're going to need to implement your smart home. And we're going to take a look at that hardware next. Let's get started with the hardware. I bought everything from here, as you can see, Kit. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but they sell Raspberry Pis. They sell accessories for those. And I have one of the accessories here in black, like the one you see on the screen. This is just a cute little case for the Raspberry Pi and gives you a nice place to put it. Makes it easier to deal with in the cabinet that I'm going to show you later. But this allows me to keep it cooled and just nice packaging for it. What I'm going to do next, though, is go ahead and image this thing. So we're going to insert this stick or SD card into the thing, and then we're going to begin imaging. So Next thing we're going to do is turn on this. Okay, so now we have everything queued up. We're in the Pi Imager, so we're going to go ahead and choose the correct version of hardware. We're then going to choose the right version of the operating system. In this case, we want an other specific purpose OS. We want to choose home automation from this list. And then we're going to go down and choose the home automation that we want. Mine is Home Assistant and the correct version of this, which is for the RPI4, not for their custom hardware. Choose the correct disk. Don't overwrite your removable hard drive with 7.3 terabytes of data on it, and then hit next. Once you hit right, it starts the imaging and you're done. Once the image is completed, then we're going to take that and get it into the Pi. So let's go on to that next. Alrighty then, so I finally got everything in. We got 3 boxes that came in. This one I already opened. I took it out of the box. I even broke the seal, but I haven't opened any of these and taken out any of the actual contents. So let's go over what we have in this bigger box first. This is probably going to be less exciting, yet strangely satisfying. What I have here are faceplates. These are the 2 gang faceplates. I like these because you don't have the screw evident on the wall. It just looks nicer. And then we have the heart of this system. This is the Sonoff this is the Zigbee dongle, and this is going to be plugged into the Raspberry Pi via a USB extension to avoid any noise, and this will allow me to connect to any Zigbee powered devices I add to my smart home in the future. The next portion, let's go with the 800 Z-Wave USB stick. This is the latest model with the latest firmware. This attaches to all the Z-Wave type devices that you have out there, like your smart doorbells. There are smart outlets, there are smart lights that are Z-Wave. But this, having both of these in the picture, gives me the ability to connect almost anything I want to this system pretty easily without having to worry about it. And I have a Zoo's door sensor. This is a Z-Wave product, so that's going to connect to the Z-Wave dongle. And this just lets me know if my door is open or closed. So if I have an automation that locks my deadbolt, if it hasn't been locked for 30 seconds, I can make sure the door is open before it locks the door, so nobody slams the open deadbolt or the closed deadbolt and breaks the door jamb. So that'll take care of that. So let's put these off to the side. See what we have next. Next, we have a Reolink. I'm going with Reolink and the other devices I just showed you for one reason and one reason only. That's because these devices do not require cloud access to work. I'm not reliant on Amazon or Google or Apple or anybody else that wants to sell my information or give the police access to my video or do whatever with that information. This is my information. It stays in me, in my home. So we have the Reolink. And by the way, this is the Reolink. This is the D340 wireless. So it is not a PoE camera, but it does support different types of voltages, 12 to 24 volts AC, or 20 volts DC, 24 volts DC. And this is what it looks like. It's a nice doorbell camera. I have a chime that goes with it. Not sure if I'm going to like this chime or not. We'll see how loud it is. Might rig up something else. Then we have the doorbell itself. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's got a nice camera, supposed to have really good night vision and even image detection or person, cat, dog detection, car detection, so it doesn't go off needlessly. Then we have all the cables. There's a power supply if I want to plug it directly into the wall. Ethernet cable, which I will not be using. I have a bunch of other miscellaneous cables that are in here for different reasons. We have a jumper cable in here for my existing chime. If I don't want to take it off the wall, I can bypass it. Wire nuts and stuff for that. And then I have the mount for the wall. And what goes on that mount is the little angle bracket. And this angle bracket angles your camera away, so it's looking at the person at the door instead of looking straight. So you get a really good 180-degree field of view on here with a 4x3 image. So I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like and how this is going to work once I get it all set up in here. So in the meantime, let's try to get it stuffed back into the box. All right, that's stuffed. And we'll set this over here with the other stuff. Reolink. All right. now we have the guts of the operation. And everything that you see in here was bought for a particular reason. I'm just not picking crap off the shelves. I needed something that's compatible with my system. Unfortunately, the lighting that I have is all Kichler lighting, and the model on this, if I can recall, is what is that? 43873 white LED 30. So these are 150 watt LED lights in here, 150 watts on one circuit. These come in a lot of new modern homes. They're just basically what you get. And I could either replace all of the lights with a smart bulb, which is a bit costly, or I could simply buy the equipment that the manufacturer says is compatible. And that is the Lutron Cassetta equipment. All of this is validated by the manufacturer, Kichler, as being compatible with their system. I had a set of dimmer switches here for these. We'll unbox that later. But this is going to give me the ability to dim these LED lights safely without causing a problem. We have smart switches in here as well. We have motion detectors for different things like the bathroom, the garage, walk-in closet, and a huge number of face plates, wall mounts for the face plates. And these little things are the remotes for the smart switches. I don't really need the wiring in there, so I don't want to buy and wire up a bunch of electrical switches because I'm not an electrician. This will let me get rid of those three-way switch boxes and replace those with a smart switch and a remote that goes on the wall inside one of these brackets. So that is what we're going to deal with and get to work on today. So I have over here is the son of Zigbee. Zigbee's over here, and then right here, this little tiny thing is the Z-Wave stick. And we're actually going to have to take that downstairs and hold it right next to the Schlage lock to get that paired. But right now, since I have my Raspberry Pi imaged and ready to go, we're going to get ready. We're going to go ahead and plug these in. Plug the network. This one. And this one. And then we'll put this over here, and you'll notice I have this little thing here. And this lets me power this on and off correctly. So plug it into the power. Move that back out of the way. Alright, you get back over there where you belong, sir. And then we turn on the Raspberry Pi, and we go back to the desk. All right, here we are back, and you can see we have the yeah, you can. You can see the preparing Home Assistant up. This is going to go on for some time. Once it's done, we'll be able to begin actually configuring things on this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fill out this section. I don't want to share any of this information with them except maybe diagnostic information. And we're going to see it's already found compatible devices. I have that Lutron Cassetta over there. It's found Matter, Thread, my television set, the Zigbee home automation. All of these things are here. And we're going to go ahead and make sure all that gets configured. So it's really pretty automated. And then now we have got some basic areas here that are already built in. I'm going to go ahead and add some additional device areas to this. And to do that, we're going to go to settings, and we're going to go to areas, labels, and zones. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make some different changes. We're going to make this kids' bedroom. We're going to add a new area to this. And we're going to call it, and let's add a floor. First floor. Okay, we've got all the areas defined here at this point. So you can see I've got a variety of places on the first and the second floor that we're going to add devices to. Everything's going to be in a device because we'll build scenes that allow us to control different outcomes in each location.